What are 5 mistakes you should avoid on your resume as a Scrum Master? The resume, it's like that golden key that need to open the door for you to even have an opportunity to determine if you can be a potential Scrum Master. But most often, a lot of people kind of just start. They're not having interviews, and sometimes they're not even bothered, or they're not concerned why they're not having an interview. In most of the cases, in about 99% of the cases, um, if you are not having interviews, uh, most often it's your resume. Now, there are very few cases that might not be your resume, but if you have a well-crafted resume, trust me, you are going to get interview. Well, how do I know this? We've seen this over and over and over again in our community. Today, I'm going to talk about 5 mistakes you should avoid on your resume. Welcome to the Scrum chat room with Dr. Francis Bunya. And my goal here is to help you understand what you need to do to close that gap and to move closer to that first job as a Scrum Master. Without wasting much time, let's go ahead and start our analysis. And if you actually are guilty of one of these, you definitely will need to seek for help. I'm going to tell you at the end of the video what you should do if you are part of this. So for now, just sit down, relax, and then do an evaluation for yourself. So the first thing, which is many resume have, is the wrong format, right? I've had the opportunity to evaluate so many resumes just by opening them. I cannot even look at them. So the wrong format. Now, one thing you want to understand is about Scrum, which many people are still thinking that it's a joke, is that it's a leadership position. And for leadership, we want excellence, right? For leadership, we want excellence. I was opportunity to kind of review someone resume. I just like, oh, can you look at my resume? I said, yes. They sent it to me. And now the first thing I saw was that they have about 3 different jobs working side by side, many date overlapping. Like I was working here, I was working here. There is no clear detail. And secondly, the format was a whole mess. So the wrong formatting is the first, though. It doesn't matter what you put there, so long as you cannot really align it, have something very neat, you realize that with just the first look, they're going to say, okay, you know what? This is not exactly what we are looking for. So I'm going to share with you what a format should be by the end of this call. I'm going to pull my resume. I'll show you exactly how the format should be. Okay. So anyway, let me just handle that before I move to the next point of what can stop you from getting that job. Okay, just give me a quick second. I'm going to go and pull out my resume so I show you exactly what I'm talking about, right? We like to keep it real, not just explain, but tell you exactly what might be missing in your resume. So if I can pull out my resume and share with you, you probably will be able to notice exactly what we are talking about here. Okay, so I put my resume and I share my screen. The first thing you'll see that it's well crafted, right? Straight, aligned. You can easily scroll through and you look for what you pick out what you're looking for. So the wrong formatting can actually be the reason people are finding it difficult to catch out what is on your resume, right? So you want to make sure that your resume really stand out. A lot of people try to write a whole paragraph on the first page explaining, I don't know what they're explaining, that also kind of just piece out the recruiter or the interviewer. Right? Sometimes you might bypass the recruiters. Now, the goal of the recruiter is they're not so much concerned about your resume. They're just looking for, do you have XYZ? Now you realize they pass you through to the interviewer, but you will never pass the first phase, right? Why? Because when they start looking at your resume, they can already see that no, this person is not even organized. How do you come to start facilitating and organizing people when your own resume is not organized? That's the first mistake a lot of people have. And most often, some people I know you actually pay resume writers and they do resumes, but majority, with all due respect to resume writers out there, majority of resume writers are not leaders, right? They just learn this. Most of them, they don't even have the qualifications to write resume. For you to get an expert resume writer, trust me, they start charging you from $500. But most often, people are going for maybe $20, $30, and someone that is just going to go do some research online, put a couple of stuff on your resume where you cannot even defend it. So the second mistake we do is misalignment and inconsistency. It's a very big challenge. All right. What is misalignment and inconsistency? If I can also just use my resume to illustrate. Now, this is more like, okay, let's say right here, you're kind of trying to find a transition between year and year. So you might see here, you work here, let's say as an accountant, then you move from accountant to maybe a scrum master, or you go here, you see accountant, you go down here, you see nursing, you go down here, you see another position. Now, it doesn't help you in any way. When we are looking for resume that stand out, we're trying to see someone that has built a career, someone that understands exactly what a career is. We're looking for that consistency. So misalignment is also a very big challenge. Or you see someone have a bachelor in nursing, and then immediately they had their bachelor in nursing. Their first position on their resume is starting as a business analyst. Now, the recruiter is thinking in their head, okay, you studied nursing. Nursing is very specific, but you started working as a business analyst. What's the connection? All right, there's a way to fix that, right? Which you need to know how to fix it. And this is some of the stuff that many people are trying on their own. And when I meet a lot of people like, oh, you know what, I need to get into your community, but I know my resume is already fine, but I don't understand why I'm not getting the job. I'm like, okay, you send me a look. And just by looking at it in 5 seconds, your resume is not right. So, oh, I paid someone to do this. It doesn't matter if you pay someone to do it. It's not right, right? It's about getting it right. So when I see A, B, C, you can already see that it's not right. All right. Another misalignment, which is a common mistake many people do, is that what your resume is showing that you've been a Scrum Master for, let's say, 5 years, and then on your certification, it showed that you had your PSM or CSM or SAFE certification like about 2 months ago, or like about 1 year ago. It doesn't create that consistency. Or most of the common misalignment I've also seen in so many resumes, it's when you see someone is going to say, okay, look, I've been working since 2015, and then you see the year they obtained their bachelor is going to be 2022. So those are very many common misalignment that you probably don't want to have in your resume. Now, number 3 mistake you should avoid, which is also a common problem why many of the people don't get to pass the recruiter phase, is insufficient leadership experience. Scrum, it's about leadership. You don't go to school for now. So far, I don't see any bachelor in Scrum or masters in Scrum. It's not yet there. It's coming. It's gonna come very soon, but for now, it's not yet there. So they're looking for people who have shown some prior leadership experience with the capability. Now, when you talk to a couple of people who need help, and just the way they talk, you can already tell that, okay, this person cannot be a Scrum Master, right? From the way they talk. Now, you might know your stuff. That's why I always tell you, going to the having your certification and listening to online video doesn't make you a Scrum Master. Now, what we do when we actually train people, We don't just train them on question and answer. We train them on how to talk, how to carry yourself, how to analyze, how to do public speaking. All of this counts, right? All of this counts in yourself. So lack of insufficient leadership experience, even your resume will not doesn't show that. And some of the funny stuff I've seen in many people's resume is that all the position on their resumes are Scrum, 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 which means that whenever they started working, their first position was Scrum, right? So you don't want to do that. And another very big mistake I've seen, right? This is kind of just an extra. I've seen many people do that, which you don't want to do that. Should I talk about this? Okay, no, this one is very sensitive. I'm gonna reserve this one for those for those in my community. It's a bit sensitive. I'm not gonna say it right here, right? Let me not speak out all the secret right here. But that the one I wanted to talk about is a very big issue. And this is also one of the reasons why some people you go through the job, but you cannot bypass the background check, right? And the rationale of you working with someone would know it is that you can work so hard. Just imagine working so hard, getting the job, but then you are not clear to go through the job just because there are a couple of stuff in your resume that you did not pay attention to. Okay, number 4 is language error. Okay, language error and spelling mistakes. Okay, this one, it's something which you don't take lightly. Just imagine I take your resume and on the current position, you're kind of listing out your current position. You're writing everything in past tense, but showing that you're working from maybe 2021 to present, but everything that's listed in past tense. Or I go to your second position, I see that you work from 2019 to 2020. I see everything is written there in present tense. Like, okay, I'm trying to figure out if you actually understand exactly what you're doing, right? Or it's just on the first page, I'm already seeing really, really clear mistakes which everyone can avoid. So you don't want to do that. And that's one of the big stuff that also limit a lot of people from getting from this instead they make on their resume that doesn't push them to the next step. And lastly, I'm gonna say this number 5, then I'll give you a couple of other tips before I go for today. The last thing which I want to emphasize today is too much information. Now, when you give too much information, you open up yourself. If I have too much information about you, I can I can use that information against you. I can use that information to put to any point, right? The only way someone can hold you really accountable is by your word. So too much information, which is not relevant to resumes. And sometimes you see like on one position, somebody's writing about 15 bullet points. They want to do everything from every angle. And then the recruiter just go in there and say, okay, since you were the super scrum master and pick one aspect, I see that you did say that you were facilitating CI/CD in collaboration with DevOps and blah, blah, blah. Can you explain this? These are some of the very complex explanation people put on their resume. And like, okay, now you wrote that down. So most of those stuff kind of just kick people out, right? And the last tip for you is that you want to make sure that your resume align with your social media resume, which is LinkedIn. Right. I think I also did a video a couple of weeks back where I also showed you how you can be able to take off most of your resume from offline. The one that you previously have, you go on your LinkedIn account and then take it out. I'll try to find that video and maybe share it under this video. So those are where there's some of the common mistake that you make. Now, one thing you want to understand about this common mistake is that they seem to you like, okay, I can go fix this. Yes, you can go fix this. That's not an issue. But if you're not able to identify these mistakes in your resume, it's all indication that there's a lot you're still missing, right? So my goal is for you to stop wasting your time around, get into a community that will support you, be able to go through this with you, and be able to hold you through the accountability process, right? And that is exactly what we do. I'm not asking you to come to my community. I'm asking you to Stop wasting your time. Get the help. One of the things a lot of people don't want to do is they don't want to invest on themselves. They're going to invest on everything, but when it comes to invest on themselves, like, oh, this is too expensive. And I keep reminding everybody who is in the Scrum journey that unless if you were here like 2, 3 years back, you agree with me that it was way, way easier to get it than now. Now we're moving to another era where it's going to be more super difficult. So now that is still kind of really open and you don't really need to do much. With less than $5,000, you can invest and put your head down in less than 90 days and get a job that is paying you about twice more than that in a month, more than twice more than that in a month. Then what exactly are you looking for? Now, I also do understand that sometimes when we're talking about resources, it might be kind of challenging, right? It might be kind of challenging. I do understand that. But these are stuff which you cannot really sit to start bargaining if I should do it or not, except you want to remain at the spot where you are. And sometimes time is not waiting for you. It's not waiting for anyone. Right. So one of the good stuff which are you might want to come to our community. Number one, we don't pamper you. We tell you the truth. Number two, you put in the work. You know exactly what you need to do. Right. Number three, we don't just teach Scrum. We teach you how to build a career. So when you actually get in there, you are the best. You are standing out. Right. So the same ethics which we're using to teach you, we give you all the secret. There are some of our sessions we get in there, we're doing purely coaching. We're coaching you how to set your agenda, how to shift work around, how to get in there. You're getting around with people who are motivated and people who are having success, and you can learn from them. And sometimes when you're just on your own, most often you try and try, like this is not working, you give up. So if you don't want to give up, get yourself a community that will hold you accountable and move you to the next level. All right. That was it for today. I'm going to see you in my next video. If you have not subscribed to this channel, trust me, you're missing out a lot. You want to subscribe, want to hit the notification bar. We are going to be pushing out at least 2 key videos just for you in less than a week. And one of the things which I know you like, and I'm going to at least take one of the sessions to always dedicate to always do question and answer. So if you have questions that you really want me to answer, drop them in the comment box. When I'm doing the next question and answer video session, I'm going to pick them. I'll make sure I address them. In that way, we stay in constant communication. All right. I'll see you around the corner.